Hello everyone, how you going? And welcome back to Well That Sucks, a place that is sadly often too relatable. You know, you don't want to have any of these things that these people have, but more often than not, there is something in here that you go, damn, yeah, that does suck, and I have had that too. But let's jump straight into it, shall we? Spending $6,000 because some idiot who built this house cheaped out and used PVC for part of the water main. Have to get a whole new water main installed, also facing $1,000 water bill due to wasted water. Oh man, look at the size of that water leak. No wonder you got a $1,000 water bill. But yeah, I don't know mads about plumbing, but I can only imagine that using PVC pipe underground is probably not the best idea, because in this case it got crushed, or I don't know what happened, and maybe over time it just, I don't know, just kind of wears away, or some kind of seal breaks down in it. So yeah, I don't know if there's some fancy pipe you should use or a very particular style of PVC, but generally I would just think that it's just the copper tubing or whatever it is that brings it into the house. So yeah, I guess we really just have started with a Well That Sucks right off the bat, haven't we? You know, $7K just straight down the drain because someone decided, nah, someone else will pay for it later. You know, I'm not living here for too long. I too was the only person dressed up today for work, also in a full body banana costume. What was this, for Halloween or something? That's the only thing I can imagine. But damn, you're looking pretty good in your banana costume. I'd love to see a full-length body shot though. But yeah, you really would stick out like a sore thumb, or I guess a sore banana in this case. But I wish we had an angle where it showed the colleagues and not in any costumes or anything. You know, if it's a desk job or something, you just see them all side-eyeing him, just going, what the hell is this clown doing? Or maybe they're just shaking their head going, oh no, this is not the kind of workplace environment that we bring costumes on Halloween. I can only imagine it was Halloween. But mate, don't worry about it. Stuff them. You know, if nobody else wants to dress up for work but you do, well then go right ahead, I reckon. Unless it's going to get you fired, I really can't think that it's that bad of a thing to do. You know, maybe not every day, but for something like a Halloween or some big event, you know, surely you're able to dress up and kind of celebrate it in that regard. And hey, I'm sure you were the talking point of your workplace for quite some time, you know. If you're the only one that dresses up, you might get a few weird looks, but I'm sure you made a whole bunch of people laugh as well. So really, you could just put it down to you just trying to build some morale within your workplace. And with that being the case, you shouldn't even try and think of anything negative about it, you know. So good on you, mate. Hopefully you do it more often. You ever mess up your burger so bad that even your grill is surprised? This is perfect cross-posted pareidolia. Look at that. You got the face up the top and the burger's underneath. But I guess I would be making that face too if I was on fire. Look at that. You know, some people choose to walk on coals as kind of a bucket list once in a lifetime opportunity. But this poor bugger has to be on fire every time you open his lid. Let alone when you do that to him and just completely destroy your entire dinner. But anyway, I have no idea how you stuff up that badly. How are they that on fire and there was that much oil or fat leaking over the sides that you've created a fireball within your barbecue? I really don't understand how you've managed that to that extent. It's kind of just impressive, but I guess being impressive doesn't bring your food back, you know? You're not going to have much to eat unless you want it just to be ash for this dinner. And hey, I count 5 patties, and that kind of means that you and 4 other people have been pretty let down on this afternoon barbecue. And really, if you've been assigned or you're doing the barbecue, that's kind of just the ultimate shame, to completely just destroy the meat. But anyway, it can happen and it does suck, but what do? You know, you just got to move on, I guess. My brand new smart TV just arrived. Ouchie, whoa, that has been demolished. Someone did not read the fragile sticker on that. Or maybe they did and they just went, well, here's a boot through it. But wow, how do you even do that? It looks as though the entire top has been caved in. I mean, yes, it does suck, but at least in these cases, you can go look at the TV that arrived. I did not do this. Give me a new one. There is no way that this can be my fault. Because really, you got to have some serious ability to be able to crush a TV like that. It's pretty much just a stress test for a TV, but I can't imagine that the manufacturers of TVs do this kind of stress testing. And I guess the really annoying thing is that you probably have waited for this for quite a while and it finally arrived, you're super happy, and then you just get so bummed when that's the outcome. You know, like I said, you'll probably be able to get a new one, no worries, but then you have to wait for it again and just deal with all of that shenanigans of going through warranty and calling people or whatever. So yeah, I don't know if you bought this TV in time to play on the new consoles, you know, nice big 55-inch 4K or something like that, but something tells me you're just gonna have to wait a little while longer before you can reach that dream. Apparently there's a staple sticking upon this bench. Oh no, that's devastating. But really, how did you not notice this? You can feel and hear it grinding. Unless you've got some serious headphones on and you're pushing and pulling that thing around all day, there is no way you wouldn't be able to notice this. I know with my laptop that I notice if there's even a piece of fluff under there, let alone if there's a sound that goes, and you can feel it as it just doesn't drag along as well. So really it does suck, but it was kind of avoidable, you know. I feel as though you should have been able to notice that. Because really, that is a ridiculous amount of movement for you to do and not notice. Come on, like if it was a couple of scratches, I'd go fair enough, but you have done a quarter of the entire base of that. And hey, as much as you always want to keep the metal pristine and everything, at least it's just the outside. You didn't scratch your screen, or like the last guy, break your screen, or spill something in it so you broke your keyboard or something. All of those kind of things are way worse than a scratched shell. I guess realistically, all I can say is I hope it's not brand new, because if it's brand new, I feel as though it's just super well that sucks. But if it's a bit older, I guess at some point you have to go, well, you know, it's not going to stay pristine forever. I also just love this straight line that's perfectly sideways, as though you just finally realized and yanked it sideways and then went, oh my goodness, what has happened here? So anyway, at least it's on the bottom, and when you're actually using it, there's virtually no way you can see it, so I'm sure you'll kind of forget about it in no time. My boss told me to at least try shovel out and come in today. Saskatoon, Canada. Red car is mine. Oh my goodness, shovel out of that. Now, I've never had to deal with snow in that regard, but I've seen plenty of videos of people shoveling snow out of the way just to get out of their driveway or whatever. But this is an entirely different circumstance. That's like 500 mil of snow you have to deal with. And look at that, they walked all that way just going, there is no way I am shoveling, what, 200 meters of 500 mils of snow or something like that. I feel as though that would take you the entire workday to do, you know, the boss asked you to come in and you wouldn't arrive till 3 PM because you've been shoveling snow all day. Like I said, I have no idea how it works, but I feel as though if everyone came out of the apartment and everyone had a shovel, you could actually clear it up in a reasonable amount of time. But you definitely need an army of people to do that. There is just no way that you can do that on your own. That is absurd. So really, I have no idea what you're meant to do in this situation. Like it said, your boss asked you to come in, but you know, you're faced with this impossible task ahead of you. So I don't know, you just ring them up and go, look, this is just going to be ridiculous. I can't come in. That's the only thing I can think of, because to be the poor soul that digs that out, oh, do not sign me up to that. Spent 10 minutes looking for the drip tray for the Foreman grill after I turned it on. What? I don't get what's going on here. What's the drip tray in this regard? Hang on. Oh, the drip tray for the oil. For some reason, I had in my head like a washing up rack, not a drip tray. Yeah, that makes so much sense that you would store it in there, but oh, if you forget, that's going to be so bad. And oh, you just can't really clean that plastic off, can you? It's just going to be forever ingrained on that grill. You know, if you try and cook something on it 5 years later, you'll just still have the very faint plastic smell. To be honest though, I feel as though you should have smelt what was going on here. There's no way you could have completely saved it from not melting, but as soon as it starts melting, it's going to give off an odor. And so if you catch it right in that moment, I'm sure you could have saved the most of it. Or at least not done that to the grill itself, where now you just have an entire burnt pancake of plastic. But anyway, I know nothing about the George Foreman grill. I have heard of it, but I've never even seen one. Hoping they've got a non-stick coating, you can kind of just pop that plastic off or something and then go buy a new one. Because otherwise I have no idea what you could do about it in that circumstance. So yeah, that does suck. A lovely note happened to me once, so I can relate. To whoever took my laundry out before the dry time was finished, you stole 15 minutes of my time and I had to use money on another wash. Do that again and I will happily throw your entire load of laundry in the trash. Dry it. Oh my goodness, who would do such a thing? I don't know for certain, but I can only imagine that this is in a unit block that has a shared laundry or something. Wouldn't that just get on your nerves though? You know, it's just 15 more minutes that that person had to wait, and then it said you had to spend money on an entire new wash, and I don't know if you have to go through the entire cycle or whatnot, or just because they were a bit impatient and thought it was ready. But I did love this note. It starts off as kind of passive aggressive. To whoever took my laundry out before the dry time, you stole 15 minutes of my time. It's kind of just shaming whoever did that to them, but at the end of the message, and it completely flips. Do that again and I will happily throw your entire load of laundry in the trash. And then just to top it all off, try it. Even though you would have been so mad writing this note, it would have been so satisfying to put it up and just go stuff ya. So yeah, even though it would suck to be this person, at least they got some verbal revenge. Bought a house in July and they graciously left me a mini fridge in the basement. After moving all my beer and alcohol downstairs, I discovered it was in fact a freezer. Oh no, what a mess that is to clean up. I was actually thinking at first, I was going, oh well, it was alcohol, it probably won't freeze, you know. Alcohol has a lower freezing point than water, so I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't freeze in this freezer. But considering it's beer and not straight spirits or anything, that is definitely gonna happen to your freezer. But to be honest though, I feel as though you should know the difference between a fridge and a freezer and how cold that is. Look, the fact that there's actually ice forming on the top shelf should give you a pretty good indication of what kind of temperature and what this thing is. What does water need to do to become ice? Freeze. So it's a freezer. So really, even though it does suck and even though it's an accident, I would say that it's entirely your fault. And hey, at least being frozen, you might just be able to chip all that ice out and it'll come up good as new. But anyway, you certainly won't do that again, will you? Normal day in Utah. Okay, oh my goodness, that is incredible actually. That is actually pretty similar to being buried in the snow, but I don't think there is anything more opposite than snow than a dry tumbleweed. But wow, look at that. I wonder if that's every house or if your house just happens to be one in the street that is perfectly shaped, or at the end of the street where all the wind just collects them all and brings them all to you. And man, I don't even know what you do with them all. Do you just kind of shove them out of the way, or do you have to actually clean them up? Otherwise they'll just come back and get you later. And I love how it looks as though it's just completely enveloped your entire front door. door. But really, the entire thing of a tumbleweed is that it's super light and gets blown around by the wind. So I can't imagine, even though there's a massive pile of it, that it's that heavy and you can't really get in. I feel as though you could kind of wade through it or push it to the side. And based on that, I'm going to say that snow is still worse than tumbleweeds. This has not been my week. Please stop breaking into this car. Oh no, I am so broke, dude. You already got my catalytic converter and radio. Please just let me be. Oh wow, and you can even see in the background. Look at that. Look at those wires just from it being ripped out or whatnot. Wow, yeah, that really would suck having your car broken into and multiple times. Like you just feel as though such a target. But I love how even in the midst of this entire week of your car getting broken into multiple times, you even found the time to kind of put a light spin on it and you included that meme on your plead letter. I am in no way, shape or form someone that would break into a car, but if I was and I saw that, I would just have to turn away laughing. There is no way I could do that to someone again. And so yeah, maybe this guy is the best anti-theft policy there is, you know? It's definitely worth a shot. I spilled 50,000 2mm glass beads on the ground and now I have to sort them by hand. Oh my goodness, I can't even imagine that being 50,000, but I'll take your word for it. But I mean, to be honest, it's kind of a cool project, you know? Even though it's kind of a boring project, it is probably a really satisfying project to slowly just pick out every single bead. You know, you've got your tweezers, you know which one goes where, and you just get to pick them out and place them all in again. And I can imagine it's kind of therapeutic, you know? You just put on a podcast or watch some YouTube, listen to some music, whatever you want to do, and just kind of sit there for a couple hours a day or however long you've got. I feel as though if you spent 2 weeks on it, not that you'd want to do it in a day or anything, but I feel as though if you spent 2 weeks on it, it would be kind of just like reading a book or something. You could just slowly go through it all and you'd work your way through and then all of a sudden it'd be done in no time. Unless you're trying to build something out of builds right this second. I feel as though it's not the worst thing that could have happened. So I don't know if I'd say that I'd enjoy that, but I feel as though after a while you just get into a rhythm and you'd all be all good. And like I said, it'll be done in no time. Never stick your head in a hole on a tree just to see what's in it. Ouchie, whoa, that's gonna hurt. But man, was he lucky it didn't get him in the eyes, you know? Obviously it got him in the entire rest of his forehead, but really there's nothing there that can break per se. So yeah, obviously you didn't say what animal it is, but I imagine it's a hedgehog or a porcupine or some other animal that I have no idea about. But yeah, that would be so startling. You just go, oh yeah, what's in the tree? And then you poke your head on it and then you just get smashed by, I don't know, what, 200 needles in your head? But oh, like I said, I just can't get over the fact of how lucky he is that it completely missed his eyes. And look, it even goes slightly down his nose. You know, if that one there was slightly over, it probably could have taken his eye out. So I don't know if you need to go to the hospital to get all these removed or anything. And he just took this photo when he got back in the car. But hey, he's going to have a super relaxed forehead now. You know, he's just had acupuncture all over his face. So really, it's just all a matter of perspective. Maybe you really enjoyed this experience. If you're from snowy country, this picture should strike horror in your heart. There is about 6 pixels in this, but I can only imagine that it's an icy road. Now, I have even less experience with an icy road. I feel as though it has to be so cold to have an icy road. But I can only imagine how scary and dangerous an icy road is. You know, I've seen these videos of just hundreds of cars piling up on the freeway because they're just hit an icy patch and they just can't stop. I can't say I've had to experience anything like this in my life, but I don't know, maybe you're from an icy or snowy place of the world, so we'll move on before this strikes too much terror in your heart. I'm the only person in my entire office of 30 people who dressed up today, and I'm in a full body banana suit. No way, 2 in a row. Oh wow, look at that. You've even got makeup to go along with it. I love it. That's 2 people who rocked up to work being the only one dressed up in banana costumes. But this lady's gone above and beyond. Look at that makeup to go with it. But the same applies to everything I said last time. I'm sure you were the talking point of the office and everyone had a good time. Some people had a laugh of it. You had a laugh of it, hopefully. Even though you would have felt kind of embarrassed in the beginning, you know, I'm sure you were fine and it's all good. Everyone's got to have a little bit of fun in their lives. And so yeah, at least the top out of the 2 bananas was the original. You know, when a repost beats you on Well That Sucks, that's just a double slap in the face. And the top of Well That Sucks for the month is SeaWorld Orlando. Yellow is the car park, red is a lake for humans to play on paddle boats, and blue is where the orcas spend their entire lives. Oh man. Obviously you don't really get the scale of it, you know, like let's say the orca pool was 10 meters across, or let's say it was 100 meters across. You can't really tell, but you just see the size difference between that car park and the whale enclosure. You know, they could have taken this entire section of the car park down here, and then it would have been a similar size to the red where people play or something, whatever, and had that as the whale enclosure instead. You know, that would have been what, 10 at least times bigger than what they've got. Obviously it's an entire money making thing. If they can fit another 1,000 cars down here or whatnot, and on average they're bringing 4 to 5 people per car, that's another 4 to 5,000 tickets, which is just a lot of money. And you know, on the opposite end with the orcas, then they have to fill the pool and manage all that water and blah blah. I'm not saying anything about this is good, but it's just sad in terms of the business that you can see where the priorities lie. So yeah, I don't know if I've seen this exact image or a similar one just like it before, but every time you see something like this, it's just so sad, you know. And this happens all over the world, you know, animals just being kept in crazy captivities, from caged chickens to fighting bears and random snakes being kept in random places. tigers, big cats and monkeys and whales. You can just name every animal in the world, and it's somewhere in the world they will be kept in an enclosure that is way too small and not suitable for them at all. You know, and regardless of whether this animal needs to be kept in an enclosure or not, whether it's for rehabilitation purposes or repopulation, whatever it is, you know, so many of these enclosures are just tiny. So yeah, I don't even know if this classifies as well that sucks. Really, it's just, man, is that sad. But anyway, that's going to do it for Well That Sucks. Thank you for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please do the YouTube analytical things down below. Other than that, I've been posting a lot of these videos, so maybe want to check some of the other doozies of subreddits out, or even consider subscribing so you don't miss another one in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.